Okay, so here we are. This is our first British Web Awards interview, and it's with Kate Warren, who is the creator of the web series Messy. Hello.
Hi there.
How are you? You okay?
Good. Yeah. It's crazy times right now.
Today is obviously is a big day for two reasons. Obviously, you're having our British Web Awards interview, which is really big, but also you've had your vaccine.
Got my vaccine, my first one.
Fantastic.
Pfizer.
And
Got the
everyone
Pfizer
watching,
one.
everyone watching at home, make sure you get yours as well.
Yes, please.
And obviously, being British, there's nothing wrong with the Oxford vaccine either, I believe.
Oh, have you gotten yours?
No, I'm still waiting. Come on, Boris.
Yeah, let's get with it.
I'm waiting, Boris. You know, I'm hiding in my studio till it's safe to go outside. You know? It would be nice to meet some of our British Web Awards winners in persons. But anyway, straight to it, really. So obviously, yeah. So you won a few awards at the British Web Awards 2020 for your show Messy. So really, what I would love to do is just kind of grill you a bit, Kate, as to all things to do with Messy. Where did the idea of Messy come from? In fact, why don't you just tell us briefly what Messy is about first, for anyone who's silly enough not to have watched the entire series?
Okay, thank you. So, Messy is what it's about is this woman who is this struggling artist. She's a photographer, um, and married and has 3 kids. And she and her husband realize that it's not what it used to be, and the flame has perished, as it were. And then so then her, a couple of her friends are like, hey, you should go start the online dating thing. And she's like, ooh, that's nerve wracking. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And so she does it and she dives right into it. And so there's that, and the sort of the shock and awe of how people, these men, speak to her online as if they've known her for a very long time and have had an intimate relationship for a very long time.
So there you're talking, is it like the vulgarity of the kind of online? You realize it's not Cary
Yes.
Grant anymore. It's just people are vulgar and people are...
Oh, yes. And I had to get out the urban slang dictionary for some of the things that were said to me or texted to me. I'm like, what?
Oh, so sorry as well. So just to kind of go on that point, there is how much of, so you've got this story there. So how much of the story comes from a real life experience, or is it purely written, or where do you think, Kate?
So it's both. A lot of it is heightened, to make the drama or the comedy work. I had to heighten it. But a lot of it is actually real conversations,
Right.
from like the especially the dating, stuff. The texts that I received, a lot of them are real, from real life, and different names and all that, whatever, completely different characters. But some of the things they said that were so, shocking. But also, I also wanted, like, later in the episodes, she also goes through kind of like a spring awakening, because it's been so long that she does actually enjoy herself.
I remember it. I think it is episode, is it 5? Is it? And you have a FaceTime conversation with a friend of yours in a different city, and he's like, just go for it and enjoy
Yeah,
yourself. And
exactly.
yeah, and then she embraces this kind of, she thinks, why not? Let's just go for it. Let's give in there. And the thing there, yeah, you say,
Exactly. She just goes for it. And some of them are wonderful. Later in the episodes that I didn't get to shoot, they are quite a few really lovely uh, interludes, as it were. But then she's also got her like motherhood, like she has to juggle, raising her kids. And also the plot is that they can't afford to move away from each other. So they have to make it all work.
Can I just ask on another quick point you said there? You said there were some
Yeah.
episodes you hadn't shot. So was there quite a bit? Was there still missing episodes from season one, or was that all you was able to do within your time and budget?
Well, that was what we could do with the time and with the budget. So I chose like the first 5 episodes. Um, and I wrote 16.
Wow! Wow!
So
Wow!
yeah, if I could do another, like get another so much money that I raised, I would do another, 5, let's say. So we'd be up to 10.
Okay. What was your vision for this project? So you wrote the scripts. What are you thinking there? I need to raise the money. How did you raise the money? What did you think?
Yeah, so I had a reading first. I got together with a bunch of actors that I knew, um, had a reading. We were all just having so much fun, and I just realized I have to do this. Like I have to get this out there. So that summer, I got on Seed and Spark. It's
And
like a
what's that for people who
Kickstarter.
don't know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Kickstarter, Indiegogo
Right. Yeah.
fundraiser for film projects, and whatever else. If you're inventing something, funds for that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Seed and Spark is for film, and it's very much women driven. A lot of the projects are women written, produced, directed.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yeah, I raised 20 well, I raised $27,000 in 45 days.
Well done to you. Well done. That's
And but we
fantastic.
used 23,000 because of the commission they take, and then I made t-shirts for people, and things like that. So it was really 23,000 from pre-production to post.
And can I ask, where was like when you raised that money? Where's the for emerging filmmakers and stuff like that? Where was you putting that money in the production wise? Where was the
Uh,
priorities? Where was this?
well, everything except like one of the most important things, which is like marketing and social media, things like that. So
Right.
paying all my actors, my director, my crew. I
Wow.
catered to cut costs. I catered the food. I made the food for everyone, breakfasts and lunches, some dinners. Um, who else got paid? Pretty
I was
much, yeah,
well, sorry, I was going to say, just it's amazing. First of all, doing the web series and being able to pay your cast and crew, because I reckon about a good 80%, I reckon, aren't fortunate enough to be in that kind of boat. So that's fantastic. You've been able to raise
yeah,
that budget, and because people do extraordinary work, don't they? And often it goes unrewarded, unfunded, and so it is great you've been in that position to pay these guys for their work.
yeah,
That's what a feeling that
yeah,
must be for you. That's
yeah.
great.
It was great. It was great, and I don't think I would do it any other way. If people came forth and said, "Hey, I'll do it for free," I would, of course, I would, let them come on board. But yeah, I mean, I had one intern, he was unpaid, and he did so much work that he
Wow.
would be the first one that I would pay. Like if this was picked up, or if I made another so many episodes, he would be the first one I'd, cut a check for, because he worked on the SAG paperwork, the Screen Actors Guild paperwork for the Screen Actors Guild actors,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he did so much work. He was like our production office guy.
Fantastic. Do you want to give him a shout out and a thank you to his
Yeah,
name?
Bo Valera. He was amazing. He actually picked up my son a couple times from school. He did it all. He did it all. In fact, he was in the show. He had he played a roommate in the 5th episode when she's with her trainer,
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
the girlfriend walks in
Yes, yeah, yeah, at
and
the
she's
end, yeah,
talking to him, and then the door opens and he's like,
yeah.
that's him, that's Bo. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
he was the
great.
best, the best. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
um, so continuing that on kind of the crew side there. So you've got the script, you've got the budget, you're going to be able to pay people. Obviously, just bring focus to your director who won an award as well, Nicole. She got an award
Yeah,
there.
Nicole,
Fantastic.
I'm
What
sorry.
what was the involvement there? What came about there? So you're an actress and a writer, and you've got the scheme. You're not going to direct it yourself. You're going to get someone else. And how did that journey begin?
Okay, so Nicole was one of the actors who I invited in for the reading.
Fantastic.
And yeah.
So sorry, that was just me. Then I was just going to go back because years ago I read an article about productions and stuff, and they were saying about the benefits of doing readings. And I was going to say you've mentioned it a couple of times now. I'm just going to bring focus on that. Before we move on with that bit, what would you say one of the great advantages are of just doing a reading with a script?
So you get to hear it, and it's in different voices rather than my own voice, where I think I'm the funniest person on earth, and really like, okay, you're really not. That one didn't work, so you get to hear it. You get
Uh,
to
uh,
hear the
I
jokes and
I'm
everything.
laughing with pain because I've been
Yes,
in that same boat with comedy where you can write comedy. When you read it out, you think, oh shit, that wasn't funny at all.
right, exactly.
Or
And
sometimes
you're,
it is, or sometimes
yeah,
it's not. But yeah, yeah, 100%.
cringeworthy. Yeah.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes it is, yeah. So hearing it jump off the page I think is very, very important. In fact, that's how it started when I started writing this. I would take it in to this theater company called The Shelter, and they'd have
Fantastic.
these things called the Shelter Sundays, where you could be an actor with an audition and do it and get some feedback. You could be a writer and you bring in 10 pages and so on. So I started it there. And with Nicole, I asked Nicole to come in and see if she could read at the reading, and she could. And I was thrilled because I didn't know Nicole that much. We had kids in school together, the same elementary school, but just from her Facebook posts, I knew that she would get it. And when she was in the reading laughing hysterically, because it gets funnier and funnier and funnier. Like the first 5 episodes are funny, but it's also bittersweet, but it just gets funnier and funnier afterwards. She was on the floor and I was like, she's the one. She is the one. And then I asked her and she was like, oh, I'd love to, blah, blah, blah. So it was wonderful working together,
Had she done much directing before this project?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Had she done much directing before this project?
She did a full length called Blumenthal.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know if you know that. And
No,
she
no,
did
not
some
sure.
shorts and she did a documentary. So she's done some. Her strength is acting and her love, but she was a great director.
Because I
Very
was going to
organic.
say, sometimes just when you have that love and respect of the material that you were saying there and that enthusiasm, that's going to carry across into the directing. So you don't necessarily need to have all that experience. When you've got that love and understanding of the material, that can come across massively, can't it?
Yes, 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 exactly, exactly. And
And
I love the way she worked with other people, and she's just very kind and organic and gentle, you know.
so kind of going on to that feed there. So kind of what was like the shooting kind of style like then, you know? So also the thing is here, so you've written it, and now you've got in a director who loves the material, which is obviously a blessing, and understands the material, which is the most important thing. And you've put your faith into her, and you think, going to pull it off. So what was the kind of shooting style like with comedy? What was it like doing that?
So you know, it's kind of it's not slapstick. It's very dry, you know. So it was just, you know, very I don't want to say throwaway lines, but just you just driving through, you know, as I mean, we did some takes and takes and takes, like the scene where she's filing her feet.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? She's giving herself a pedicure, and her husband is kind of disgusted by that.
In the front room,
So
yeah.
yeah. So we used cornstarch as the as the dead skin falling off the feet. Is that TMI?
uh,
Sorry,
uh,
Chris.
anyone joining us, we're talking about a web series. No, that's fine. That's great. That's great. So
Yeah,
that's that. I love getting the details of how something comes together, and that's terrific. Yeah.
yeah. So we did that. The funny scenes, we sometimes were just all the whole crew, everyone were just cracking up and just having such a good time.
Because also, can I ask as well? Because I think after episode 5, there's in like an opening sequence, there's like 5 sex scenes that kind of happen, you know, in
Yeah,
succession, and it's and so it really shakes things up, literally. But also, because obviously that takes a lot of. They must be. I don't know what would they like to shoot, because obviously they're great. There's like 5 you've done. What was the process of doing, and situations like that you must need a great director to kind of watch and create a nice environment, and they seem like
yeah,
they were in good spirits and good fun and the
yeah.
rest of it.
So that's the other thing with Nicole is was she was open. Um, she was open like sexually or just more free than anyone else that I've met.
In what
In
way
the
was that,
sense,
do you mean? Like,
well, in the sense that it wasn't like this dirty, like very like Americans are very puritanical. I feel like the Brits are a little bit more wide open about it. Is that true?
I think we're a bit, way just get on with it type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nicole is
I haven't asked the
German.
Queen, so I don't know. So.
I don't. I don't. I'm not talking about the monarchy. Although, you know.
I think we're making a new comedy now, aren't
Yes, yes. So she just seemed very open with the subject of sex, and you need that with a director. You absolutely like. I had to be able to be free with some of those scenes that you saw.
Without being
Um,
sexist, was it easier with a female director than with a male director, perhaps? I don't know. Was it as well? Did that help?
Probably, although I don't know because I haven't.
I don't know. I mean, as an actor, I've never done I do a lot of acting, but I've never done a sex scene. That's another reason I'm interested as well, thinking, yeah, what was that like?
Right.
Yeah, so, but
Yeah, I mean, actually, some of those actors were the same guys. Like, even though they're
okay.
supposed to be different. That's why you didn't see their face. Like, maybe you saw one face in one shot, but the others you didn't see because we were a little low on guys who were willing to do sex scenes.
Because I thought I saw the same guy, but at the same time, you don't know if some of it is in her mind as well, do you? And it's kind of like when you're thinking back to these occasions you've had, I kind of interpreted it like it was her way of thinking back, and you
That's
can,
you
yeah,
could interpret it that way, yeah, because it's all just she's just like so overwhelmed by these guys like lining up, like what is this whole online thing about,
yeah,
yeah, she just had this her imagination kind of takes over and explodes, and it's just all these men like down the street around the block, that was the image that she had. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
terrific. Did it end? Did it conclude the way you thought it was going to conclude your series, do you think?
Well, I actually I actually wanted another episode. Was it 6 or 7? Another 1 or 2 episodes to conclude the season 1.
Oh, nice.
It was more of a like a cliffhanger. But we didn't have. I wanted to pay my actors properly. I wanted to pay everyone properly. So I didn't have the money to do, the other 2 episodes. But I like the way it ended. She's learning a lesson.
Because
Um,
I suppose if push come to shove, you could have maybe lost like a middle episode and got the end one in if you thought it was missing that, but it did kind of, I guess, conclude there, didn't it?
yeah, I think it concluded well. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those scenes falling out the window were something else.
Yeah, yeah. Why is that? Why
Something
is
else.
that? Why is that?
Well, okay, so the first day, the
Oh,
first
so
part of the
sorry. So spoiler alerts. There's a scene where Kate's character has to escape out of a bedroom, and she goes towards the window and goes out the window there. But carry on, Kate. Yeah. What's
yes, oops, it is a spoiler, but
well,
it's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. It's yeah. Um, so the morning we were shooting in this park where she's jogging, and she runs into her trainer and a friend of hers, and they start chit-chatting, whatever, and then she gets all sort of like hot and bothered and runs starts ends that conversation and runs off, and then we did the camera a different way, and she runs off, and as I was running off, I did not look down, and there was a huge log that I tripped over, and I really hurt myself. And then
Oh, you're
later that
joking.
afternoon, I had to fall out a window. So
Oh
I was
shit.
like, oh my God, it was like very physically. Yeah, I had to go to physical therapy for like 10 weeks after that.
I take it back about this director. This sounds.
It was all my writing, though,
I know. Well, good for you for
Yeah.
getting it done that day. That's great. That's amazing. So, is there? I mean, apart from that, is there any like really wonderful like experience stories from the production? Because the first thing I would say is obviously you've written something, and then you're going through that beautiful journey of seeing it come alive, aren't you? Was there any
Yeah.
moments in that journey that you thought, wow, this is great? Because obviously you it's so full on making it. Sometimes you forget just to stand back and think, wow, this is privilege. This is great. We're watching my work come to life. There's a director involved. There's cast involved. There's great. Was there any moments you thought, wow, this is brilliant?
I have to say one of my favorite scenes was the cat. I call it the catwalk of men, when she starts swiping.
Oh, okay,
These
yeah.
men come to life. It was out in the courtyard. It was shot in the courtyard of my building.
How far
Yeah.
into production was that?
very early,
Oh, great. I was
actually.
going to say, right, to get that sensation, that's great to have it early on, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very early. I mean, one of the guys that we cast or that I cast was, I think, very drunk and was giving us a little bit of a problem. So it was like a little
Oh, you're
scary.
kidding.
Yeah,
It
it was
wasn't the tongue
really,
one, was it? The guy who does his tongue out? Was it someone else?
no, he was the one with the umbrella.
I'll have to
The
rewatch it.
tongue one.
I remember a tongue one. I remember a tongue one. I've not seen these since
Yes,
last year.
he's
I
Scottish.
watched them all.
Yeah, he's Scottish. And he had just gotten to a fight or something at a bar. I don't
Are
know
you
what. He
kidding?
lost his front tooth. So
Well,
so it was almost perfect. It
how
was
did you know
almost
him?
I knew him from elementary school, from my daughter's elementary school.
I don't know what
Oh,
answer I was expecting, but that wasn't it. So that's great. That's
that's so
great. That's
funny.
great.
It's
That's
so
terrific.
funny. No, but the
That's
guy who was giving us problems was the guy with the umbrella.
when you say give us problems, what happened? What happened?
No, he was the like the drunk guy who was kind of threatening, and we were like,
What?
yeah,
What
it
do
was
you mean?
really weird. He did not turn out to be who we thought he might be.
What do you? So sorry. Had you cast online?
Yes,
Did you?
so I don't know if you know this website called Craigslist,
Yeah, yeah. I've heard of it.
but
Heard of it. Yeah, yeah.
it's like Facebook Marketplace, but it also has jobs like castings, stuff like that. So I put an ad in there and got all sorts of.
Sounds like a new series in itself.
I know, I know.
Oh dear, right. Well, anyway, you can't really
Yeah.
tell it adds to it. It's great. I'm going to look out for the umbrella guy now. He's going to have some
Yeah, look out for
notoriety.
the umbrella guy. Yeah.
He might have a
Yeah.
belated British Rub Award for weirdness or something like that. We might have
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway.
a
Yeah,
new
so that was
category.
that was crazy. But before that, like when we were shooting it, I was just like, this is it.
Oh wow,
This
yeah,
is it. Yeah. It was really just wonderful. Just the it just felt like I was doing it, you know.
great. And to
Yeah.
filmmakers, that's everything, isn't it? And it's yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when you think an idea in your head. I mean, I just read this quote by Quentin Tarantino, who said, he loves the fact that his journeys begin with a blank piece of paper. And
Mm.
if his mother and father hadn't met, there would be no Inglorious Bastards. Because
Ah,
his head, he wouldn't have touched that piece of paper and that would have been it. There's no one else. It's purely from one person's head. So same with Messi, it's all come from one person.
that's
And
right.
it carries on. That's fantastic. So what an
Yeah.
achievement. That's great. So just very quickly, because we've diverted onto some great talking points that I thoroughly enjoyed, but just very quickly then on to backtracking a bit onto casting.
So with the casting, so Nicole was in Spain shooting a film with her family, and I wanted to get this thing going. So I started doing casting. I had a lot of ideas of actors who I either were friends with or knew, um, and started casting, and then would talk to Nicole about it, back and forth, back and forth. Um, she brought in a few of her people. I brought in a few of mine. It was kind of like this combination of, it was just a combination of actors, and it worked out really well. I thought it worked out really well. Yeah.
Did you do much auditioning, or was it a case of I've been doing this for so long, I know loads of people, and already you think I can cast? What was it like?
Yeah, we did not. The only people we auditioned were the kids.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. Literally, you've got
Yeah.
that catalog. You're like,
Yes. Yes. Like I know who can play the young college graduate, and I know, yeah. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
And who do you reckon who was the kind of the biggest surprise casting, and who was the most natural surprise casting, you think, of that process?
What do you mean by surprise?
Because I've been on a production and I was recommended an actor to take a part in my film. And I saw the picture of the actor and I was like, this guy, I said, he's not at all what I had in my mind whatsoever. And then we did rehearsals and he blew away my expectations and became a new character. Was there anything like that? Was there anything like, I wasn't expecting this, but this has worked out better than I ever thought?
Yes. Back to that scene with the catwalk, the men walking and
Okay, yeah.
spreading their stuff. Ed Malone, he is phenomenal. He teaches clown acting, and he's an Irish actor. And he knew Nicole. I had actually met him separately at a different venue, but I didn't really know him. I didn't have any contact with him. But I thought he really drove that scene with his physicality of his kissy lips and all of that. I loved him. And he actually played another role in the show. He played the porn director.
Okay, yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
porn
Yeah,
scene?
in the bedroom. Yeah.
Yes. And then
Was there any
so the
examples of that?
professors in that professor scene,
Yeah.
the award goes to, they were amazing.
Great.
They were absolutely amazing. Yeah. I
Fantastic.
love them as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. And that's great. And like I say, the show, I mean, because obviously you entered the British Web Awards, and one of the things I try and do with the team is when we watch things, we try and watch all the episodes of everything that's submitted to us so we can get an overview of the project, and thoroughly loved watching, obviously, your series. It was great. And one of the things, sorry, I want to ask you as well, that's all I do is sidetrack, but your opening sequence running in slow motion, and you thought, it's simplistic and it's wonderful. Where did that come from? Whose
That
idea
came
was that?
from Nicole.
You
I
should have
had
said
no,
Should have said you and taken it.
I
That was
know, I
great.
know. Absolutely, Nicole. She was eyeing my hallway for a couple of days. And
Really?
she went out, she was like out in my hallway and she's just looking at it. And then she said, I want to try something for the opening sequence. And
Great,
she
great.
nailed it. I did not even have an opening sequence, in mind. My original idea was to have a sort of a not cartoon, animated kind of thing that was similar to the animation in the show, with like these guys, and her family and so on and so forth. So I wanted to have that kind of imagery of the different characters and what they represented. But then she had this, and it worked so well. And I just flopped. I raced down the hallway. We did it about, I don't know, 5 or 10 times. Raced down the hallway.
What did you land on? Did you land on anything?
A couch pillow, a couch cushion. And my dress didn't rip at all. I was surprised. I thought surely my dress would just tear somewhere, you
Oh
know.
no, no.
Yeah, yeah, but it was great. It just totally worked out.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, because the reason why I bring notice to that is because what's very clever really is that it just seems to summarize in a way the series, doesn't it? It's someone trying their best. They're running and they're falling and it's messy. And the music, it's very subtle music. And
Yes.
the hardest thing with filmmaking and storytelling, well, it's not the hardest thing, but the most important thing is setting a tone, so
Right.
the audience know what they're in for.
Right.
And you had a nice opening sequence there that set the tone,
Yes.
and it
Yeah.
was nice, and that's great. And I did think that every time I saw that, I thought, what an interesting idea. That's very simplistic and does the job very nicely, very nicely.
Yes. I love that idea. I loved it. It
And you
was
carried it off very well because you're the one running
yes.
and then falling. So it's
And
like
then
there's,
falling and the
because if you'd not
facial.
done that well, it wouldn't have worked. If you cut
No.
that up, it would have been shit. But you did
Yeah.
a fantastic job of the falling, and it's very natural.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
expected more than a sofa cushion. I thought you'd have been landing on something.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. There was a lot of physical work I did in that show.
Well,
A lot.
moving swiftly on then, so that we've covered so much there, which has been fantastic. Where do you think the future of the show is going? And obviously, I hope there is a future of the show because I love season one. Are you going to do a season two? What's going on? What's going on?
So we haven't even dropped it yet. We have to drop it.
I
I know. I think
thought
I
we
should
had like
drop
an.
it right after this, right after we finish. I think I should drop it.
Well, this will take me a couple of days, so you might be all right.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay. Um, but I I honestly, so this is where I need that money that I don't have to hire some kind of marketing, PR, someone to guide me through the process because neither Nicole nor I know exactly what to do. We did speak to someone who got an Emmy for his web series, and he said, throw everything up against the wall and see what lands, see what sticks.
Yeah, I mean, considering he's won an Emmy for his web series, you think he might have some more, some more concrete advice than that.
Well, I was like, do I wait? Do I keep it
All the
locked
web
up?
makers of the world were there in anticipated breath of this advice. So just, I want an Emmy. Just throw
See
it
what
up at the
happens.
wall and see what happens. You've got something great, and it is great, and you've got a following, I'm sure, which is tremendous. And not only that, but I think what you're doing is similar to a lot of people. Is when you create these web series, you're following the joy of being of a creator as well, aren't you? This is what's great. You're surrounding yourself with fellow creators. I mean, I get that feeling even from talking to you. I think I'm talking to a fellow creator. This is just lovely, just listening to your stories. So even if you couldn't raise the funds to make a second season, would you think of doing it with a fraction, or what would you think about? Would you
Oh,
still make
yeah, I
more, or
would. I would do it for a fraction, provided my team was willing to do it for a fraction.
I'm with you, and that's great. That's great. That's nice to say. Yeah.
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 Um, Ultimately, in a perfect world, I could easily see this on Netflix or Amazon or
I
HBO,
agree. I agree. Yeah.
Showtime. It's not for network TV because it's so dirty. It would have to be a platform that can take the foulness of it, the filthy.
But you say that, and I mean that makes. I mean, I don't think there's that foulness there. I think there's some. You know what I mean? I don't think that's there. Yeah, I see what you mean about the
See,
Netflix and.
that's the thing is a lot of Americans would think.
Oh right, you think it might be a transatlantic thing there with that,
Yes,
right?
yes, for
Oh
sure, for
right,
sure.
okay,
Yeah,
wow, okay, wow.
yeah.
Because we love
I
it,
mean,
we love it. We think it's
yeah.
great.
I mean, I think, if Phoebe
Best
Waller,
dramedy.
yeah, right, right, exactly. Yeah, Phoebe Waller, what's her name? Phoebe Waller, Fleabag. It
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
has
yeah, yeah.
Fleabag, like an older female Fleabag scenario, she got her hands on it. If I could waltz into her office and say, "Hey, let's work together." Um, if it were just that easy,
Yeah, yeah.
that would be great. I think that kind of person um, would respect and enjoy this kind of show.
I I think as well that I think that you've got to look at things that say if nothing, if you never got picked up by a major studio, the rest of it, was the journey worthwhile? And I've got to think yours 100% is, because the show's
Yes.
great. Having luckily working with the British Web Awards, I've seen your show and I think, crikey, that's fantastic. That is great. And I love so many things about it. And I think maybe it's just about getting your work out there as broad as you can. Forget the big networks. Let's just get it on as many networks as we can and just see what happens. And yeah,
Right. No,
it's
I
it's
think you're
so
right.
difficult. I agree. It's so difficult. I agree. But yeah, sorry.
So I just have to, I think, bite the bullet and drop it into the universe and see what happens.
100%,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's difficult, but who knows? But get your work out there, and because you go back to the great poets and the great writers, and there's going to be people that didn't like it and people that did like it, but you have to get it out
Yep.
there. And God bless people like yourself who are daring enough to think, this is my vision, this is my idea, I'm going to do it and put it out
Yeah.
there. And that's what it's about.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think that is a good point to cut this interview and say great.
Okay.
I would love, however, to speak to you again. So you want to come back on, let's by all means speak about where you're up to and what's going on. But I thoroughly
Absolutely.
enjoyed talking to you. You're my
Thank you so
first.
much.
Oh, a pleasure. My first ever British Web
Seriously.
Awards interview. So this is great. So
It's
fantastic.
great.
So
Thank you so much.
so thank you very much for entering Messi into the British Web Awards 2020. Thank you. You won Best Dramedy. Well done to yourself. And good luck in the future. Stay in touch. And
Yes, I will. And you too. Thank you so much, Chris. Your
100.
show is just such a great award show. Really tops. Tops. I would do it again. I would do it again. All those people who you brought on just made it so special and so unique and wonderful. And for, going through the pandemic where we couldn't talk to each other in person, just bringing those announcers on made it just so special. It was so special. Thank you.
I said to you earlier, we made that for the creators, and to hear such positive feedback from the creators just makes it, I mean, literally, without saying calling, a blessed experience. It really is. Honestly, it's like I say, we made it for you guys, and to hear the feedback is what it's about, and that's brilliant because I'm a creator, and that's something I'd love to see. So that's fantastic. So
Yeah.
great.
So good. So good. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, hopefully, we shall be seeing you soon with season 2.
Yes. Yes.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.